Representative Kevin McCarthy of California discussed tax reform on Capitol Hill last month. Al Drago for the New York Times. Good morning. Want to get California Today by email? Here's the sign up. Today's introduction comes from Adam Nagorny, the Los Angeles bureau chief. Like most Democrats and a few Republicans in California, Gov. Jerry Brown views the Republican tax plan, heading for a final vote in Congress this week, as damaging to the state and its residents. But Mr. Brown said he was not surprised that one of the architects of the effort was a Californian, Representative Kevin McCarthy, a Republican from Bakersfield. He's the majority leader, that's the role he has accepted, Mr. Brown said in an interview. This is not in California's interest, but it's what good Republicans believe they were supposed to do. The bill would put a $10,000 a year cap on deductions for state and property taxes, a provision that will particularly hit high-tax states like California and New York. It also caps the deduction for mortgage interest at $750,000, a provision that would hit states with high housing costs, like, again, California and New York. Mr. McCarthy has been responsible for rounding up support for the bill, and has aggressively lobbied for support from the other 13 California Republicans. The majority leader, in a statement over the weekend, disputed Mr. Brown's criticisms, saying this bill was central to Republican efforts to cut federal taxes. In California, taxes continue to go up, as we saw with the most recent gas tax, Mr. McCarthy said, referring to a gas tax increase pushed through by Democrats. This hurts working Californians, especially in the Central Valley, just as Congress is acting to lower taxes and increase wages to help American families get ahead. I hope to work with the governor to reduce the tax burden that Sacramento has imposed on us in the state, he said. Mr. Brown said the bill would hurt residents in California while helping those in places that don't have high state or local taxes, which happen to be Republican states, the governor noted. You're taking money from Californians and giving it to people elsewhere, he said. It's unfair and unwise because California is an engine of American growth. California Online. Please note we regularly highlight articles on news sites that have limited access for non-subscribers. At the Peninsula Beverly Hills Hotel, where Harvey Weinstein often stayed, female employees said they often felt helpless next to Hollywood titans whom the hotel went to extreme lengths to please. The hotel says it does not tolerate UAL harassment or assault by guests or employees. Emily Burrell for the New York Times. At the Peninsula, Beverly Hills and other luxury hotels, continued allegations against Harvey Weinstein have highlighted complaints from workers who say discretion and deference to powerful customers come before the well-being of women who work there. The New York Times. State officials, banks and federal regulators are looking for a way to handle money from the state's burgeoning, multi-billion-dollar marijuana industry. If they are successful, officials say it would be the first system of its kind in the country. The Los Angeles Times. More than 1,500 people showed up at San Francisco City Hall on Sunday to mourn and celebrate Mayor Ed Lee, a man who the governor said gave politics a good name. San Francisco Chronicle. The San Isidro Ranch in Montecito, Calif, faced the encroaching Thomas Fire on Saturday. The blaze spread quickly in the morning, fueled by strong winds. Mike Eliason, Santa Barbara County Fire Department, via Associated Press. The Thomas Fire is now the third largest in modern California history and spread quickly through Santa Barbara County over the weekend, with one resident describing it as a war zone. The New York Times. After Corey Iverson, an engineer with CAL FIRE from San Diego, was killed in the Thomas Fire, donations poured in for his pregnant wife and 2-year-old daughter. The San Diego Union Tribune. How are the wildfires impacting California's tourism industry? A guide to what is open, and what is not, in this holiday season when some regions are still choking on smoke. The New York Times. Martin Ransahoff, the Hollywood producer who gave life to television shows like The Beverly Hillbillies, on Wednesday at his home in Los Angeles. He was 90. The New York Times. The headquarters of Instagram, the image-sharing site, which some researchers believe is as of disinformation and propaganda as any other social media service. Christy Hemclock for the New York Times. An Instagram post created by a company with connections to the Kremlin shows why fighting Propaganda on social media will be an uphill battle. The New York Times. The latest housing crisis in the Bay Area, an influx of recreational vehicles parked in lots and on streets serving as homes. The Mercury News. For one student at the University of California, Irvine, home is the inside of a Prius for now. Orange County Register coming up. This week, join a celebration that's been held for 90 years. The Bracebridge Dinner takes the dining room at the majestic Yosemite Hotel and transforms it to an Old English hall packed with Christmas activity. Celebrate the last night of Hanukkah at Koufax Coffee in Midtown Los Angeles with a genuine g.o.p collab from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. There will be latkes, matzo balls, pastrami and sufganio oat jelly donuts by the baker extraordinaire Nicole Rucker. In the last week before Christmas, cruise some neighborhoods known for their outlandishly bright display of lights. Watch the whole Peanuts gang perform a Charlie Brown Christmas at the San Francisco Symphony. And finally, fire retardant was dropped in Montecito on Friday, but the blaze still swept through the next morning. Mike Eliason, Santa Barbara County Fire Department, via Associated Press. Along with the thousands evacuated from the Thomas fire are a bevy of celebrities with homes in the wealthy enclave of Montecito, as they have packed up their pets and headed for a place free of flames and ash. They've repeatedly thanked the firefighters battling the blaze. "Firefighters continue to be my heroes," tweeted Ellen DeGeneres, who evacuated her home last week. Oprah stuck with the Peace Pestal hashtag she's used for several days since the fire began. "Still praying for our little town," she tweeted Saturday morning. Winds picked up this morning, creating a perfect storm of bad for firefighters. "Fire once again raging in Santa Barbara," tweeted the tennis star Jimmy Connors. "Firefighters are amazing, keep them safe," and the actor Billy Baldwin chimed in by asking his followers to say some prayers for these people and the brave firefighters. California Today goes live at 6 a.m. Pacific Time weekdays. Tell us what you want to see. Today at nytimes.com. California Today is edited by Julie Bloom, who grew up in Los Angeles and graduated from UC Berkeley.